Publicity for Get Your Rock Out here with Matty and Mike from the Red, White and Blues. How are you doing today, guys?
Very good, thank you. Very, very good.
Yeah, better for seeing you.
Well, thank you very, very much. Untrue as it may be, it's a nice thing to say. We are, of course, at Hard Rock Hell in Wales. Have you...
Where are we now?
Which country are we in?
What now?
I was going to say in Pontins, but of course that we're not. That was the old one, and so I'm going to mortally offend people if I say Pontins. So yeah, we're in Wales. just keep it nice and
just
generic.
Cut that out and we can do it later.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Have you actually managed to see any of the bands yet?
No, I mean we just got here, literally 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
10 minutes.
So, no.
We played
To answer your question, no.
We played in Grimsby last night, stayed in Leeds, and we've just literally driven from Leeds, about a 5-hour bus journey, and here we are.
So you're feeling refreshed and relaxed and ready to go. You're playing a bit later on. Are you horribly excited? Are you terribly nervous? Or are you a good mix of both?
Good mix of both. Sounds good to me. I'm mostly excited, I have to say.
To me, it's because I've heard about this festival for quite some time. You know, over the years, it's had a lot of exposure, and you always want to play everywhere. You know, so it's kind of like it was so nice to be asked to do it. You know, and to do it on the day, you know, with Buck Cherry and these other bands you kind of really like, and yeah, we're just really glad to be involved. To be honest with you.
And you've played quite a few festivals. I mean, recently we kind of seem to have seen your name cropping up everywhere. Do you have a preference when it comes to festivals or touring? Do you adore them more than anything, or is it just kind of been the luck of the draw, as it were?
Well, the thing about a festival is you just have to be prepared for chaos. You know, you don't get any sound check. It's more than likely that everything's going to go wrong, and you just kind of have to have the mentality of whatever gets thrown at you, you have to deal with it. When you're doing a support show, it's not quite the same, and you know, when it's your own headline show, you have control over it. But festivals are just chaos. I mean, we were asked to play Download last year on the second stage, and you think this is going to be amazing, it's all going to be good. But there was a hold up and the people weren't allowed in, and so we were told that we couldn't play, and then we changed our clothes, and then we were told, okay, you're on in 15 minutes, and you just have to expect chaos, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, that's how it works. Festivals. I mean, I love it. It's great.
Good. I mean, they're just stupid amounts of fun, and so it kind of makes the chaos worthwhile. Who are you really looking forward to seeing today?
Well, we haven't seen anyone, and we're going to pretty much have to leave as soon as we finish. Yeah, because we have things we have to get to do tomorrow, so it's unlikely that we're actually going to see anyone.
Any of them, yeah.
I know.
Unfortunately.
This is the world of rock and roll.
That's really sad. I thought I was doing badly catching like 3 bands so far this weekend, but none is awful.
I'd like to have seen Buck Cherry, but it's just not going to pan out that way.
Could you pretend to maybe break your arm, like just before the set, and be like, oh well, I have to stay here. The medics are looking after me, and then miraculously heal yourself after Buck Cherry's set.
Oh, it's good now. Yeah. No, it works now.
I don't think they'll care. I think they'll just throw me in the bus anyway.
You could slash the bus tyres.
Try that.
We could.
Could try, yeah. I mean, this is actually a reality for most bands, I think, because if you're on tour, then you shoot in for that gig and then you have to leave for the next. So I think it's very rarely that a band sort of hangs out at a festival for 3 days and just woo. I mean, I'd love to, obviously, but just we never have the time for that.
One festival did a long time ago, and Van Halen were on the bill, and it was like we were playing below Van Halen. Van Halen was the band that I just wanted to see my whole life. It was the band that started me into music, and the whole time they played, I had to do interviews with Japanese magazines, and I could hear in the background all of these classic songs and people asking questions, and you just go, it's just not meant to be. It's just, you know, it's the way it is. It's terrible.
Have you seen them yet?
Really cool, because then when I was coming out of doing the interviews and they'd finished, and then Eddie Van Halen was walking down the corridor as I was walking out, and of course at the time kind of like that sort of look, and he just looks back as if to go like, it's okay, I know. I'm Eddie Van Halen. It's cool.
I know.
Don't worry. You don't have to be like that.
Yes, I am him.
Yeah. So no, didn't see them.
But that kind of, the whole passing in corridors thing, it kind of makes it worthwhile because not many people get to do that. So
It does make it
Yeah,
worthwhile.
we've had quite some dignitaries come through the corridor, and we can just go.
Yeah, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
So who would you get most starstruck over if you met them?
Well, no question for me.
Yeah.
I got most starstruck over Ricky Medlock from Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, we're huge Blackfoot fans, massive Blackfoot fans, have been since we were kids. And so and he's the guitar player in Lynyrd Skynyrd, and the guy is just like a cowboy from the spaghetti westerns, he's like 6'5", cowboy boots, the hair, red Indian, and as soon as he walks into the room, you're just kind of like, yeah. And on the Lynyrd Skynyrd tour, he played Diary of a Working Man to me in his dressing room, just him with me sort of going like this. And so, no question, that is, for me, you probably have a different story.
Ricky Medlock, obviously, but this is way back. But I actually got to meet, forget his name now. I'm just
Glenn
joking.
Hughes, I met Glenn Hughes once.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times because he was in Sweden a lot, way back. But now I'd say Ricky Medlock was probably because he's such a big sort of icon for us, and he was so friendly as well. He was so nice, and not at all in any way sort of. Yeah, he was just really friendly. It's really nice. Yeah.
We'll talk about your album now. Please do tell us all about that.
Because I haven't got a clue. Well, I mean, I don't even know where to start now.
Well, the album, Matty, I play in another band called Skin, and a few years ago, Matty came out on tour with us, and we used to be in a band called Jagged Edge a long, long time ago, and so we kind of got back together and we played some ideas, and we had this sort of idea of wouldn't it be cool if we just wrote some songs, and then that basically grew into this thing where we made this album, and then it was just kind of, do you think anyone will be interested in hearing it? And so we made it ourselves, we put it out ourselves, not thinking that we'd ever do any concerts or anything like that. And then literally upon someone hearing it at Live Nation, they said, oh, would you like to play a download this year? And it's kind of like, we've never even done a gig. And it's kind of like, well, if you want, you can come and play a download. We really like this record, and we'll give you a chance. And so that was like our second gig. And their first gig was Hard Rock Calling on the Bon Jovi day. And then from there, it just came, well, I guess we better make an album then. And then we've been really, really fortunate. We had shows with Steel Panther, Chickenfoot, Whitesnake, Lynyrd Skynyrd. We played Download again. We haven't played that many gigs, probably about 30 concerts, but it happens to be that all of them have been really, really cool shows. And so we never thought it was going to come to this, within, this is not even our Skingia,
Yeah, exactly.
And, it's all come off of one record. We're incredibly honoured and privileged and just thankful that we get opportunities to come and play to rock fans and to go on tour with our heroes. It's been a dream, really. So thank you for actually talking to us.
Absolutely. I mean, it is incredible how kind of things do just spring from something that you didn't ever expect them to. I mean, so have you kind of got to the planning stage where you're looking ahead and thinking, you know what, we really need to focus and do this, or are you just completely taking it as it comes?
Well, I mean, we do some planning. I mean, the thing is, since I don't even live in the country because I live in Sweden, so for us it's just to get together is a bit of a thing. So we try to write some new material when we're together, when we're touring, that is. So yeah, now we're thinking we should be looking into a second album and start writing for that. And we will eventually, but maybe sometime next year. Yeah.
But it's so sporadic. I mean, Matty flew in on Friday night. We had no rehearsal. We played a gig yesterday in Grimsby. Today we play here. He flies back tomorrow, and I don't know when I'm going to see him next.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's actually worked out for us so far, doing it this way. So I'm thinking, we'll get there. It's the shows, I think.
Is.
Yeah. Well, I think the shows that we've been lucky enough to get obviously has made an impact for our band. So, but we do need, obviously, we need a second album eventually.
Wonderful. I mean, I guess to be honest, spending time away from each other, at least it means you don't get completely sick of each other all the time, which is nice.
True.
And I guess you can come into it from a fresh head as well if you're all focusing on other things and then coming together for.
Well, it's really tough for, a rock band is a very expensive thing to run, and there's lots of rock bands and all trying to get on the same tours and the same shows and all that sort of stuff. So we've been really lucky to get the ones that we have. I mean, there's been a whole bunch that we haven't got. We'd obviously love to do this every single day, but it's not as easy as that. The record is self-financed. We do it all ourselves. So we're just very surprised and very thankful that we've got to where we are. And hopefully we'll be able to do some more shows in the new year, do another record, and then keep doing it again.
And when it comes to kind of priority-wise, other projects, this project, what takes priority, and how do you decide what you're going to be focusing on?
Well, because Mike's got Skin, for instance, which is a band that's been around for a long time, and I've got other projects back home, I guess. But for me, it's the whole thing, not just making albums or projects, is that gets done a lot. But if you're actually touring with a band, then that's something different for me. So for me, my priority is Red, White and Blues. It's a touring band. It's just like the full Monty, whatever you call it here. Yeah.
The family.
Yeah. And the other stuff is projects. Yeah, fine. I mean, it's just cool to do and all that. But this is where my heart is, sort of thing.
And how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really plan too far ahead. Experience has taught me there's not really much point to do that because things change all the time. If we get a lot of the things that we've been asked to do, we've only had ever like a week's notice or a couple of weeks' notice. We don't really have much time to plan for these things, and so a tour may come up. And obviously, we just run it past everyone to see if everyone's available and if everyone can do it and if logistically it makes sense. I'm sure if Bon Jovi asked us to support them, we would make everything happen that we possibly could to try and make it work. So once the information is given to us, then we'll make a decision rather than,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So next year, are you hoping to hit the festival scene hugely again? Would you like to focus on other tours? Would you like to get out more into Europe? What are you thinking that you'd like to do?
Well, I mean, all of those things you said sound good to me. But I mean, obviously, I would love to play Download again, get a shot at that. For me, Download is one of the biggest, greatest festivals there is. So, yeah. So yeah, that's top of my list. Touring. I mean, obviously, I'd love to tour Europe, or we can even go to Sweden. But like he said, it's logistics. It's hard for us.
When you support big bands, everyone thinks, oh, it's great. But the reality is, you may only be being paid like £100 or 200 quid. But it's kind of like, but you're playing the Hammersmith Odeon. It's like, no, that's all they pay you. That doesn't even cover petrol on a van. Let alone crew and all the various other bits and pieces. So, you have to kind of be selective about what you can do, what actually makes sense to do. But, we'd like to be playing music every single day of our lives, but you can't always get what you want.
That's very true.
Get what you want. People, can you hear me now? Yeah. Sorry.
That was beautiful. No, I like that. That was beautiful. You're the first band to have sung in an interview all weekend, amazingly. So,
I
yeah.
do this all.
It's good. I like it. So, where should people go if they want to find out more about you? Where's the best place for them to hit?
www.theredwhiteandblues.com.
TheRedWhiteandBlues.com. Very important. Yeah.
And you have access to music on there, videos, and information about where we are sort of playing.
Are you big into the Facebook thing, the Twitter thing? Have you?
Yeah.
Well, Facebook, yeah, totally. We have obviously there's a thing on Facebook as well. Check that out as well. YouTube.
All the usual places.
Yeah, exactly.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out today. It has been a pleasure to talk to you. Have an amazing show tonight, and I do hope that you manage to catch at least half an hour of somebody else's set, just so that you can say, well, we did see these people. So good luck. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.